Well, a familiar face joining us now, Mitch Sorbie. We've talked on our debate shows. We've had interesting times about the sector you're in, which of course is just pizza pasta. Is that right, Ralph?
That's correct,
okay. Yeah. This continues to be an issue of staffing levels, I hear, and that's why you come talk to us today. Because the Isle of Man's unemployment is running so small, isn't it? About 1% or something?
It's 1%,
which is not
1%,
healthy, is
no,
it?
it's certainly not healthy. I had a meeting with Department for Enterprise and the Locate Isle of Man. And a healthy economy has unemployment anywhere between 7 and 10%. And as you said, the Isle of Man's running at 1%, which is...
We have been here before, and it's caused issues in the past. So we're back to... Because, I mean, service sectors, or what you want to call it, the entertainment, it is notoriously tricky anyway, isn't it? To find people.
Historically, I can only speak for my little business, that we're a small team, we work incredibly hard. And we found it very, very difficult to recruit people because they know it's very busy. And the only people we've been getting any applications from are 15, 16, 17-year-olds to come and work for us. And with the greatest respect, they've got the heart and soul of a lion, but they just don't have the experience to. And sometimes when you get 120 guests wanting food, wanting drinks, wanting this, that, and the next thing, it can be quite daunting for a youngster, for someone that's got a bit of experience, a bit older, which we don't have in the island at the moment.
I mean, these are antisocial hours, as some younger people will see, because they get offered jobs in 9-to-5 built offices.
Yeah, very true, Paul.
So this is much more of a.
Well, it means they can have a lie. It means they can have a lie-in the morning.
Okay, there's a positive side to it.
And they can have a few hours off in the afternoon when it's sunny.
Okay, what's the issue here? Because I mean, the unemployable are being employed almost when you get down to 1%.
Yeah.
So there's tons of jobs going on the Isle of Man. Is it a Brexit issue? I mean, how much are we tied with the UK and what we can bring in here these days? I don't know. We're up to you. Have the latest.
Well, according to the Locate Isle of Man, UK dictates the policy, and it's got its own problems at the moment. And I think some of it might be down to Brexit. And I think some of it as well is just down to the way people's lives are now. I had a small view over the job applications for our sector, which is the hotel, catering and bar work last night. There's 140 companies advertising jobs, different jobs.
Just in that sector alone?
In that
140,
sector,
right.
Across the island, with 235 positions to be filled. Now, Paul, I know the government says, well, if you want to employ a chef, you can employ a chef. Now, with the greatest respect, we're not looking for chefs. We're looking for the grassroots people, the people that want to wash dishes, that want to chop tomatoes, that want to serve customers, that haven't stuck in at school, that however can see a career path for themselves.
You know, it's perceived that the pay is low in this sector, right? I mean,
the pay is low, but I know a few people in offices that are paid less than what our staff are, when you take into account their overall package, but they're actually paid less.
That's interesting. So what's the solution to this problem? Is there one? I mean, as you say, with the borders as they are and what the UK, and I mean, I don't know if Brexit has particularly affected this, but would you be normally having Eastern Europeans coming in?
Yeah. We would normally be having Eastern Europeans. We'd normally be having quite a lot of Italians, which having a restaurant where the majority of the staff were Italian was I laughed when I heard the requirements to bring people across. Now, bear in mind, we're talking entry level jobs here. The work permit to bring them here is just under £800 for the work permit that they have to fund. They then have to, they have to apply for a work permit.
I didn't realise it was £800. Is that with all the different bits and bobs?
£790 if we want to be exact.
Okay, well you know your homework.
But then
who gets that money? Sorry, is that Isle of Man government?
Yeah, Isle of Man government.
Right.
And then from there, they've then got to prove that they won't be a burden to the Isle of Man, which I think is a wonderful idea. Believe you me. But they've then got to be able to read, write, and understand English to a B standard. Now, there's half the people out there I never get a B in my life. So it's
and also somewhere to live.
Somewhere to live.
Which is, everyone's hearing there's the shortage in
the rental property. The rental property. I'm fortunate enough. My business landlord has quite a few properties.
Yeah.
And I've already spoken to him to say, look, if we were to bring people across, could we rent? And the answer is yes. He would help us.
It's a real first world problem, isn't it? We're talking about here. We can't get staff, you can't get the people, and yet there's jobs going. I mean, there's so many places in the world where people no doubt would want to look for a job and that sort of thing. What's the outcome of this, though? I mean, you're coming to talk to me today. I know you've been around the government departments. Is there any solution in sight?
The short answer is no. And, you know, if it gets any worse, Paul, to be honest with you, he said, we might not have any option but to close.
Seriously? I mean, that's a big...
If you
cannot do it, yeah.
If we can't get staff, we can't serve people. And if we can't serve people, all we're going to do is create a lot of dissatisfaction.
And you can't be the only business that's having this. Well, clearly you're not, because everyone's employing...
We're certainly not the only business that's having this problem.
So we're going to election. This is something that I'm sure you think needs to be addressed. How do we address it, though? I mean, again, we're still back to the same problem. Reduce that £690, where it was...
790.
790. That shouldn't be... That sounds odd to me. Maybe someone can clarify why it is like that, because that must put people off to start with.
I think the language barrier as well.
Yes.
I know a lot of my staff that are foreign have come across here with very little English, and over a period of time their English is as good as mine, to be honest with you. Both reading, writing and understanding, which is more than I can say for my Italian or my Bulgarian or anything else, the staff that we have.
There are too many things in your way here, blocks that are being built up here.
There's a lot of blocks getting built up, Paul.
We've talked in the past. I mean, seriously, if you just say that, and I know you don't say things like that unless you mean it, you could literally have to shut your doors because you can't get the staff. Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah. Or you cut your numbers down to 20 or 30 covers a night and manage it yourself. I'm behind the bar myself now. We're that short staffed, so I'm not running my business. I'm working in my business, hands on.
You've worked at other places, so what's it been like compared with Scotland and those sort of places? Is this different, or just?
I think, Paul, the one major problem that we have across here is we don't have a university campus. We've got a lot of bright kids. I think it was about 1,200 came out of the schools last year, the 5th and 6th year. And the brightest of the bright go off to the UK. They see the big lights. They go to university. They meet girls. They settle down, and then maybe later on in life they come back to the Isle of Man. I've spoken to the Department of Enterprise as well to say, why as an island, why are we not having a world class university that might attract people to the island? If it attracts people to the island, they might settle here. It might grow. Our population is old. It's dwindling. And the people that are staying on the island, to be honest with you, are the ones that maybe sometimes don't want to work as hard as our foreign counterparts.
Well, with 1% unemployment, as I say, we start with this. I know from years ago how it sounds great on paper to brag, horrendous. But it's horrendous if you're trying to employ somebody because there's just such a limited gene pool out there. Yeah. And then, as you know, there's some people that can't work for whatever reason, who are in that list who should be employed, but you end up probably going down avenues you probably don't want to go down sometimes just to fill up, I suppose. But that's tricky, isn't it? You need people that can do jobs.
We need people that can do jobs, and the biggest thing that we have is honesty and reliability. You know, we've had people in that don't turn up for shifts. Now, if you've got 3 or 4 people on the floor, you've got 120 booked in, and you get 25% of that not turning up. And what they don't tell you the day before, oh, by the way, I've got a problem. They just don't turn up for their shift.
Yeah.
And that's the problem you have is you then burn out the rest of your staff, and it becomes a self-perpetuating philosophy. Yeah. That sooner or later you're going to lose the good staff because they're tired, and you can't replace them.
So just to finish with you, I know you've chatted with the government. Any chances that things can be improved? Are they looking at it? Are they thinking about what they can alter, or is it just more the same?
I think it's more the same. I think with the election coming along, it would be lovely to think that you get some new blood into the Parliament that are keen to do something. I love this little island, Paul. I just think it's a wonderful place to live, to work, but it's got its problems that we need to sort out.
I'm going to be flippant at the end here because there's always your takeaway pizza machine, if nothing else. But that still needs feeding, doesn't it?
Still needs feeding, yes.
Yes, as seen worldwide, by the way. No, I'm joking. But I mean, there you go. You're trying to do your best. And but if there's anybody who's got any other views on this or similar, you know, because I'd love to hear. And putting your head above the parapet is something to do here, because clearly this can't go on. Because we're probably going to a boom, more of a boom than ever, aren't we? As the borders open up anyway.
Certainly, I think we need to try and address this problem now, and we need to get more working people that want to work onto the island, and let's make it easy for them, because no one likes a difficult decision. Everyone likes an easy decision.